Hey there, how's it going? Welcome back. It's Andrew. Here, me. I'm that guy that's dumb. Hey there, how's it going? Welcome back. I am Andrew, and this is catskullGameing. Last time I was talking a little bit about AI and my experience with it, and we had finally gotten all caught up to today. So, no more looking back 3 months at what I had been doing. We're looking at this week. What did I do this week? Which is really exciting for me, and hopefully for you too, because if you see anything that you have input on, if you have any questions or observations or anything that might help, please let me know down below. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear your thoughts on what I'm doing and how it's actually going. So with that, let's go see what I was doing on Wednesday and what kind of progress I had made on the project. When I first started, I set up all of those different systems. I brought them into this game and I set up all these systems. I got the items set up and I got this thing set up, which I haven't touched yet. So I can start to build out this inventory system, the dialogue system. Eventually I'm going to have it so when you click on the different words, that will populate an item into one of these words. So when you pick it up, you'll click on it, that will generate the word into the inventory, then you'll be able to pick up the inventory and put it into the questionnaire, much like Golden Idol, except instead of clicking the words other places, these will be in conversations and stuff. So that's what I'm trying to get working, because it's a clearly defined goal that I understand how it should work. I have an idea of how it should I understand how it should function. I understand how it should be set up to work. I just need to get from point A to point B. This is a lot more achievable than if I tried to do something like highlight the words in a string and then have that be searched through an index or something that I'm trying to come up on my own. I don't think I'm there yet. And so having this kind of thing where I'm almost deconstructing a known thing so that I can then redo it in my own way is kind of what I'm shooting for. So with that, that's the idea. And the first thing that I did, and I did it without looking at any kind of tutorial, is I just got this inventory set up so that when you pick up an item, it populates this item list. You get a picture of the item and you get a description. It's going to be used for a couple of the puzzles that I want to have in there. I want you to be able to see kind of what the item is and then be able to kind of click on it to get some clues or to get a word off of things, and then a description of stuff just so you have some more context. Alright, so now I have this set up. That way you can see the terminal. So when something is clicked, the terminal activates where it's coming from and then the word. So that's a signal that's being sent. And from that signal, I'll be able to then populate the inventory. Right, but then that makes sense. So you'd click on that, and then here you would have whatever that name is would populate here. Problem is, it's all in an array, and I need to figure out how to get to that data in the array. And I don't fully understand how to do that stuff. I'm still figuring out how for loops work, how to index into an array and get the information out, especially if it's an array of an array. How do I index into an array of an array? How do I get that information? How do I check it against something so that it populates only this information? And so trying to figure out how to do all this, I was kind of going in circles where things wouldn't work. I would try something, wouldn't work, try something, wouldn't work. So I went back to the original tutorial that I had watched so many months ago when I first started trying to figure out how to make an inventory system, because it was slot based. It was kind of what I was basing this on anyways. It's what I had done. The initial list kind of idea was based on this because it was what had worked in the past. And so I went back to this and I started watching this. Looking back at this original inventory, I have been going through and I got it to a point where we now have inventory and inventory, and that's great, and that works. It works. But if I try to start moving it around, changing the way that things are done in the scene, I have to go back and redo a lot of the work I did, because I have to reconnect things, and then sometimes they don't quite work, and because I didn't come up with the way it's put together, I still don't fully understand how all the different things are interacting completely. And so I have to go back, and I'm constantly like trying to remember, like, where does this go? How is this interacting with what is going to? It's a lot, and I get confused about all the different things. The inventory, toggle A, toggle B, datas and data, and like I understand it, but it takes a mental load to comprehend all the different things, and it doesn't do what I want, which is I can't set it to just this one and have it load, because it loads through the item grid, which I have to go in and rewrite that code so that it then loads this, but only this inventory loads this. But when I try to set that up, it breaks and doesn't work, and so that's what I'm working on right now. With me working on that, trying to come up with ways to work, I dropped it into my local machine to see what it would spit out as help, and here it gave me the idea of like, oh, instead of using the node grid inventory and then populating that with the slots, what if I just arrange the slots manually, and then when I pass in the information, if it's already set up so that I have it split up, so if it's an external inventory, it sends somewhere else. And I can, hopefully, what the point I'm getting is, this is a solution to the problem that I didn't tell it I had, but it's enough of a solution that it got me to rethink the way that it's set up, and if I can do that, then I think I can make this work. I also think I almost understand what's going on with it. I don't want to give up on it because I'm so close. But that's where I'm at. It's Wednesday. This is what I'm working on since Sunday. Hopefully I can get this stuff in and working and going by the weekend, but we'll see. Man, do you see how frustrated I am with inventories and trying to figure out data and these data structures and passing them through? That tutorial is really, really good, and if you're new to Godot and new to programming and you're trying to figure out how these things work or when which to use them, I would highly suggest checking out his tutorial. But his tutorial is designed and set up so it works with his systems, not mine. And when I got to that point on Wednesday, I really had to think about, did I want to keep going along with someone else's systems, or I had already built my own inventory from the ground up using the item list. Maybe I should look at that as a solution so that I know what I'm actually doing. And that's what I eventually decided to do. And you can see here, looking at what I had on Wednesday, I decided to start over and go back to that thing that I had. And so now where I'm at is in a place that's similar but a bit different. So here we can see that I am changed out the format for how the inventory is laid out. Now we go up, and if we initiate the conversation, you can see down below in the terminal, it's sending that information. You can also pick up each of the individual items. And then if we go into our inventory, we have our different items. Some of them will populate different stuff, but we can take that item, we can pick it up, and almost get it to populate a different item. Okay, so my inputs just need to be checked. Not a problem. So anyways, you'll be able to click there, and then that will populate the item then each of these blank spots will be filled with the correct item and name as it populates. And so with that set up, what I need to do next is I have this matrix, which I'm going to use so that I understand each of the different key items and what area you're going to obtain that key item in, so that I can track where you're picking up those words, so that I'm like, okay, this, then this, then this, and that's the next step, is to get all that stuff put into the game and set up. So hopefully by next week, the game will open up, you'll be able to go, you'll start in the closet with those 2 items that you pick up, and then you'll move out from there into the other areas to explore and pick up stuff. And as you pick up stuff, you'll be able to use that to open up the next step to then get all of the things. I don't know exactly what that looks like yet. I have a fuzzy idea in my head, and I'm chasing that idea. And as I build out the systems and get things working and put them into the game and make the stuff, the idea of what that is solidifies. The same way with like the visual design, I have an idea in my head, but until I do it, it's not finalized, and it is subject to change. But right now, I am pretty happy with the amount of progress I've gotten in this past week. It was very frustrating working with these structures and getting them to work or not work, and not knowing why is always just something I really hate. But I figured it out, and I persevered through the struggle and was able to get my original system working the way I wanted it to, which I'm really happy with. I did not get any new music done. I did not get any new art tests done. So yeah, I didn't get to any of those things, but I am happy with the progress. My goal for next week is to get all those different elements in so that you can fill out the whole questionnaire and then have a victory screen pop up. Just getting all of the different elements in so that they're connected is going to be a lot of work. It's a lot of like, there's a term for it when you just have to do repetitive tasks. It's the same thing over and over again. Scrum work, I think. I think that's what it is. I don't really know, but it's something like that, because it's just make an item, put in the data for the item, connect the item, put in the code so that the items all work. Do that, test everything. If it doesn't work, bug fix. So that's me. That's where I'm at. So that was what I got done this week. Thank you for coming by and checking out the progress in my game. If you would like to help support me, the best things you can do are leave a comment below on what you think about what I'm doing. If you have any advice or helpful tips or just words of encouragement, I'd love to hear from you. Another thing you can do is you can hit the subscribe or like button. It's a real simple thing to do that just gives me a nice little motivational boost whenever I see it happen, and I really appreciate it. You can also come hang out with me or just say hi. Every Sunday at 7, I play puzzle games, which I know are not the most riveting watch. But if you want to stop in and say hi, I'd love to see you. I'd love to hear from you. Maybe you can help me out with some puzzles. But until then, thank you so much for coming by, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye.